Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction here on cycle 9, day 4 in the Down the Plug Hole map. We had our first bad tide last episode, and it was only one day because it's normal mode, but it taught us a lot of things that we needed to fix in our setup here. This diversion with all of these floodgates and sensors and everything, it mostly worked, but it could definitely be improved. There's a couple different theories, some of which I think we might be able to implement. But specifically, we probably need to put in at least one more contamination sensor and adjust things accordingly with another relay, but I don't think that's the most pressing thing to worry about at this moment in time. I think the most pressing thing to worry about is all the bad water outflow through this thing here, which clearly this is not enough because we have all of these sources back here. And then we have all of these sources over here and all of these sources over here that are all going through this bit and then this bit right here. So it all kind of comes to a head. And if we get too much more coming through, it's going to overflow and it's going to be in a bad way. So we have a couple ways of fixing that based on what you guys are saying and what I think is going to make sense for us to do. Now that we can actually see. If we come down in here, we have the option to... instead of detonate more tunnels, the next drought we have, I could come back in here with fill valves or throttling valves. Probably throttling valve would make more sense, although you can automate either of them. And we could actually just close off everything behind the dam, that is, until the dam explodes. And then anything behind here would back up during a bad tide, and we could just open it manually when it's not a bad tide, and then let all that stuff out, and it would probably be okay. Other options that I've seen include deepening this, which is my current plan. You could also widen this, which would achieve a kind of a similar thing, but a 3 wide, 3 deep is going to be much cheaper, much easier, much faster for us to build versus expanding this another 3 or 4 blocks wide, which would require tunnels. So that's my thought there. Outside of that, we can come up over here and remove all of this and raise this, or we can just build something behind it so that this holds a little bit more before it comes out this side, which could save us, I don't know, maybe a minimal amount of pain and suffering over here. But probably the easiest way to help solve this problem is just to go to the source and block it off. And by block it off, I mean putting in levees around here, and then doing the same kind of setup we've done in the live stream series, if you've been watching that. If not, what we did is we've got levees here, and then we have floodgates. I haven't unlocked singles on this playthrough yet, but you just put it here, you automate it to a weather sensor, and then you have a fluid dump, which we also haven't unlocked in this one, that keeps the area inside the levees and the floodgates filled up so that the seep doesn't actually turn on. So, that works. It's always an option. We also have this aquifer here that's not going to have anything come out until we, put an aquifer drill on it. But I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon. This is the closest one for us to get to. Wouldn't be terribly difficult. But the rest of these are going to require a little bit more work. Even just doing one of these, though, could do a whole lot of good. And we don't even have to make it that complicated either, because guess what? One single levee right here would actually do the trick in terms of keeping everything up in this area. But if we want to have it, not get contaminated at all, then, well, we have to have it completely topped up, sealed off, so this can't ever emit bad water during a bad tide. So, I have every confidence that we can put one piece of levee here as an absolute emergency measure. But I think probably what's going to make the most sense is for us to continue dedicating time and resources into getting as much open space as we can down here. Now, we can't do that right now because, obviously, the beavers will become immediately contaminated and be just in a really, really bad spot. What we do have is an herbalist that we could turn on if we start making paper. We can have an antidote if, a horrible accident does occur and the beaver gets contaminated. But I think we're probably not going to need to worry about that for right now. Got a gather flag here that's getting chestnuts. Did I build a grill that is going to grill chestnuts? I believe I did. Yeah, and we got one right there, and we have a storage. We don't have a big storage, but I think we're going to be okay. So let's just go up here. I know this is not the most efficient route to get up here, but it's the route we have access to right now. So what I'm going to do is go upstairs, right like so, just in a straight line. Get them to build some of this stuff. And then go up top here. When they get up to the top, guess what we get to do? That's right, it's a zipline station. And we can connect that to... Oh, it's 37 meters. That's too far. Is it worth putting a pylon in or just moving this further away? We might actually want to use this space up here for something. So I'll tell you what. Let's... I know this is not going to be perfect, and that's also power. Putting this here is almost in range. Okay, so that's going to have to be where that goes if I'm going to do that there. I think this, for the sake of expedience, is a good enough compromise. Get that done there. We also need to reconnect our bad water thing right here. I did see someone make a post about, hey, you could shorten the pathing between here by just building stairs, but, like, we have a zipline station. Doesn't matter. They'll just take this all the way where they need to go, and they don't even need to worry about this path. That's what all of these beavers are going to do. And I think we're going to be much, much better off for doing it that way. So, in that sense, I think it's going to be worth our time to come in here and remove these things, get this set up appropriately, which shouldn't be too terribly hard. I'm going to get the rest of this infrastructure in first with the fluid dump. And I can't remember, do we have... See, this is what happens when you play so many different playthroughs. Have we unlocked weather sensors yet? Survey says no. Also because we don't have we don't have treated planks, do we? That actually should have been one of the next things we unlocked, but I neglected to do that. Well, no better time than the present, as they say. It's not really going to work there now, is it? I did say I was going to put something else over here. Can they build this without it being a big problem? Absolutely. Okay. Let's do that. I love it when it puts things in inaccessible locations. Thank you very much. But that probably doesn't have to be a huge priority, but it should be a priority. I don't really have extra beavers, though. No, it's only day 5 on normal mode. I don't think we really need to be super worried. Well, being high score of 15 is always good. How close have they... Okay, they haven't really done much of anything here. Well, it's okay. They're working on it. They're working on it. I need to make sure how many beavers I've actually got. 4 in here. None in here. Okay, we need to build some more beaver storage. Where am I going to put more beavers? I do like to usually keep them in the same general location. That's not going to fit really nice there. Okay, what was here? Logs? Yeah, we don't need this here. Don't need that there. What we can do instead, if I can find a decent way to do this. Good, it didn't put it in that weird corner for no reason. I'll just do this. And then I'm going to remove... How many... We have 200 beavers. I've got more than 2, so that's fine. Well, it's time to get up. Go to another bed. Just so I can make this a slightly less stupid-looking setup here. I know it's still not super ideal, but it is what it is. What else can I build that's going to make sense? I don't need a ton of additional beavers, but I do want to continue expanding the population, and until I can build a proper, nice-looking housing complex, I just have to do something that's going to be fast. Faster. Yeah, they've done absolutely no work on that. Who can I pause I don't know that I really can justify pausing much. We need to have them cutting trees down, so that's not a thing. I know these are super deprioritized. You know what? We'll just go ahead and get rid of them. One, because it's going to give us more logs, and two, because we have 11,000 science now, we're not going to need them. And that's going to allow me... Again, these are not permanent things. This is going to allow me to get a decent number of additional beavers before too long. We do still have extra beds, so I'm not going to prioritize these. Maybe I shouldn't prioritize the wood workshop either. Let's follow the builders around and see what they're actually doing. You're carrying logs. Oh, they're still building this. Oh, you don't need to be worrying about this. No, it's almost done, though. Seems like a shame not to have that. Now, I know this is not really great during temperate cycles or droughts, but during bad tides, this thing makes a ton of power. What's... Oh, that's the pile with the planks in it. That's flooded. That's fine. I guess I'll let them finish this because it's basically already done. And then I think they're probably going to go do those stairs. I should have prioritized those. I forgot completely about this. Oh, I guess they're going to do this because it's closer, so that's fine. I did tell them to build it, and we do need that. Metal blocks, logs, regular planks. We should have, just for convenience sake, a little warehouse for the pine resin. And then I suppose, for convenience sake, a little warehouse for the treated planks, or a pile, not a warehouse. And we can modify some of these things. I know we don't have a ton of trees, so we should actually be cutting these down. Some of them, because I know this isn't going to cover everything. And we've got enough oaks here where it shouldn't be a problem. Just need to get these guys actually working. Let's see, water's... You know, actually, water's looking good enough right now where I feel okay pausing those. We do need to automate them. Time is of the essence for the rest of this, though. And we have 2,600 water for 50-something beavers. I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, once these stairs are all done and we have the zip line in, then we're going to be in a good position. Just have to wait. We also, I don't know when these are going to go off. I hope I have at least one more drought to take care of this, or else, well, I mean, it's not going to be a big deal. It's just going to be disappointing if this goes off before we really have a chance to properly fix everything. Yeah, there we go. Now I am going to prioritize the zipline station because that's going to make it so much easier for these guys to do what they're doing. And then take care of the rest of this. So, to address the earlier comments about the really bad path distribution, yes, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But most of the stuff with the zip lines, I think, solves much of that problem. At least for right now. And I am going to want to redo a whole bunch of this later. And that's what I always say, and then sometimes it doesn't end up happening. But the way this is right now, honestly, is fine. You know, that connection there, we probably should have put one here. For the sake of, you know, convenience, I do think... oh, I put that right in front of that tree. Well, that's fine. That should have been cut down, actually. Is that not marked for cutting? It was not. Alright. We'll do that. We'll get some stairs put in here, just as soon as they get those logs out of the way. Yeah, that'll help things just a tiny bit. And again, I don't want to keep this all like this necessarily. One step at a time. And now we're just waiting for logs. They are cutting more of those, but as you know, don't even have to say it. Yeah, it's going to take me some time to think about how I want to do that, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. I've got my builders now. I've got this open, operating. We're making treated planks. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're doing fine. Yeah, they just got to bring the rest of the planks over here, and then we're going to be good. pretty much completely, as far as I can tell. Good to go. We'll get those removed. I got 2 extra beavers. We're looking fine. Power up here. If we want to do anything with power, we've got water. There's a mine up here, which is also good. And then once we have this taken care of, it's not going to be that hard to get over here. But it is going to be, you know, one of those things. So let's just bring this up to the area we think we're going to have to go across. Bridges probably would be faster, but eh. I'm just making it work with what we have. That's how we've always done things here. Yeah, we want to get up to there. And I guess I need to go up that thing. Alright, that's fine. We'll get this cleaned up. So this cannot be turned off because it is a regular source. You can block it in, and I've done that in a couple of other playthroughs, but really the only way to solve this is to build a diversion off the side of the map that has a channel for bad water. And that is, you know, it's not challenging, but it is something we're going to have to spend a little bit of time working on. Okay, we got 600 beavers because somebody made him come over here and do that. So let's see. I've got 3 of these here. I think I got rid of the other ones. Let's just check. Yeah, it is 3. Okay. So, barring some sort of other convenient location, I suppose putting 3 more of these, 4 for good measure, is going to be a thing that they'll be appreciative of. That's, we already knew was fine. They're working fine on that. I can put in a levee here. Ah, yes. Bad tide in 3 days. Well, I think what's going to have to happen here is I make this a not super huge priority because I'm definitely not going to be able to get that done in 3 days. Let's make that minimum priority. Let's focus instead on slowly reducing our liability of bad water right here. Which, you know, theoretically I don't have to have this completely closed in. I'm not going to put one there. But I am going to get that built from there. They can build that from that top side there. They can build this from this side here. And then, honestly, if we can't get the automation set up in time, then this just being on, which doesn't need to be right now. And also, before anyone says it, yes, it does have to have one of these. I'll put that... that's not a good spot for it. Let's move it across the way so it's not blocking anything. Needs to be for water. Although for right now, I'd rather have these. And we don't have logs. Who could have seen this coming? Well... okay. That's not really going to work to our advantage now, is it? I know I've got trees over here. I don't have anything really close to that. That's not going to be... Now, I could cut down the maple trees because, well, we don't even have a... we don't even have one of those tapper shacks over here, do we? It might be sacrilege to some of you. However, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I absolutely must get that done. This is the fastest way I can think of to do it. And we can always replant them. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to get those 2 guys to do that. That should give me... how many logs per tree? 6. Yeah, that'll be fine. These guys will take care of that. 2.1 days. But the most important thing is that we get these 2 levees done first. Because then I can go around to do everything else. What can I get extra trees from? Besides, you know, the ones that aren't technically that accessible, even though they're right here. Yeah, I should maybe not have put that right there. There are a couple here. Probably not worth messing with. I know we have these. That's going to be a thing. What can I just demolish? that I'll get a bunch of stuff from. Well, for one, I can unpause that. That's fine. I'm going to pause this forester. Need the builders, obviously. How many? Oh, I don't have... I have 1 there. 6 there, that's fine. Let's hit pause on both of these. Down to -1. Yeah, we'll roll with that. We'll get those guys cutting those down. Some of those. We have more coming here, and then they'll take the zip line even if it's not super close. And what I should have done is put in a pile here, set to obtain. That would be the easiest way to do it. Well, we have 2 days. I've done much more with much less time before. Just have to be careful about what we're doing here. I don't know why this guy's still going over here. Stop it. Get some help. Don't do that. Okay, that one's done. That's good. The bad thing is I still need this. They can actually build this one. They can build this one from up top. This needs to be the priority. I have planks. Good. I just need them to come in and do this so I can put 1 more here and then the other one they can build from up top. Yeah, that shouldn't take too much longer. They're already getting it done. I know this is one of the reasons why I usually don't do this, because it takes longer than just waiting for the beavers. It's a distraction. But I guess now it's going to help. Okay, 1.3 days. Let's put them on a 20-hour day just to get a little bit more in here. And then, yeah, then we'll go back to 18. Yeah, now they're done. So, there you go. This one's at 8. Now that'll be at 10. I think I'm going to get 12, but they won't finish it. Well, that's fine. They can do that in 1 day. And then once that one's done, that's the most mission critical thing to get finished. And then that could be unpaused. This can be put here. Both of these can be top priority. And then this will just end up filling up until it shuts off. And then, assuming we actually get that done in time, this can be turned on. And I know there's still maybe one other thing we want to do before the bad tide starts. But I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, now, see, now this is getting logs and I don't need it anymore. Alright, I'm just going to turn that on. Let's hit pause. So this right here is already full to the point of no longer, putting anything else out. This will not have bad water come out of it. So that is, to some degree, a victory all its own. We're going to have all of these sources down here turn on. They are on... They're actually kind of high up. But they're going to come through here. They're going to go out part of this. I was not able to get any beavers in here. It's going to spill over this way. And it's going to come back through here. Shouldn't be a problem. The amount going into this bit is going to be just a tiny bit less because we, blocked that off. The big concern is down here. And I don't have, right now in half a day, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I don't have enough other sensors here. The issue that arose as doing this is that this contamination sensor was flipping on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. We really need another one over here that controls this gate, to where until this is clean, this gate stays open. This can still control this one, shutting. But having both of these flip-flop from this one sensor is that's not the way to do it. But that is the way it is set right now, and there's not much we can do about it. I just want you to know that yes, I do understand that. We just can't do it. Not right now. Seeing how this is already, not happening, we can still continue working toward the thing on the next bad tide. It's just, not going to be as big of a priority. We can come over here, cut down some of the trees, which we will genuinely want to remove. because I want this to go straight out. Probably going to need to make some more dynamite, but I think this is probably going to be okay. Just leave that right about there. And since we have a zipline station here, we can, of course, continue expanding How close can I get? Or how close do I have to get, rather? Alright, I don't want to station here, so I will put a pylon. Yeah, right here. And then from here, I will have to go to... Really? Oh, man. Oh, if only these trees weren't here, I could maybe do it. Yeah, so this is going to be the closest I can get, unless I put another pylon in, and then put the station, say, somewhere over here. Honestly, that's probably going to be the better option. And these aren't so expensive that you can't ever build them. But I do feel compelled to, you know, actually have something that makes sense. So this is, you know, this is a long-term thing. Then we'll continue going around here. This one needs to get diverted. This one is going to take a lot more work. But this, just by itself, is already something we can be pretty happy with. Now, obviously, in my haste to get this just done, I did not put in a floodgate. That's okay. We're going to put a floodgate in. We just don't need it right now. I think we've addressed basically everything we need to do. Probably. I am going to put beavers back in the water pumps. Can put this... I'll put that guy back in the forester there. And then I'm going to unmark these trees for cutting. We need to put in... Well, we aren't using the maple syrup for anything anyway at this point in time, but... Probably not a bad idea to put a tapper shack in here. I'm imagining, you know, long term we're going to want to have more maples. So I'll just put that there. These lumberjack flags probably don't need to be here. We're not cutting any more trees down. I don't need to prioritize that. They're going to pick up logs because we just don't have a ton of logs. Alright, I think that's about all I can do. So we'll just let it go to bad tide again. And see what it is we're going to be dealing with. One other thing, though, that I do think might be worth doing. I know I can't get under here without sending a beaver down into the abyss. But I can, because this platform is here. And that is accessible from above. Oh, that's where the hole is! Ho ho ho! Well, guess what? I can just come down here, and I can unlock the... Oh, 2-day bad tide, okay. I can unlock the throttling valve. And I can put that, of course that would go there. I can put this here, and I can automate this, but for right now I'm just going to put in a really slow flow rate. That's still connected, right? Yeah. So I can't get to the other one here without, you know... Wait, can I just tunnel through this? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Except this one, the hole is actually in a spot where I can't build to it. Alright, so this doesn't matter. I don't need to have that. But let's examine our handiwork here. Do note, there is absolutely no bad water coming out of here. There is bad water coming out of here. And this has just turned on the diversion. It is, well, flooding's not the right word, but it is definitely spewing forth. All of the flow has been diverted, even though not all of it's contaminated yet. So we already know that's fine. We knew it was fine before because, well, it was, the 1-day bad tide we had made it work. Okay, so this is going to be flooded out. We don't want them to be able to get into there. So for now, I will remove that. And I know I need to put a gate in. I just did not have time to get to it. But since I've mentioned it about 8 times, I'm pretty sure some of you are going to hunt me for sport if I don't do it right now. Yeah, I really do have to put it here. So I want this to be automated. And that is going to be attached to a weather station, which I have yet to construct. Yeah, I've got the materials for this. Weather station, weather station, weather station. Where do I want to put the weather station? I mean, it doesn't really matter. You already know what we're going to name this. Oh, I have caps lock on. We do not want Gary, we want Gary. There we go. So that turns on during a bad tide. When it is activated, then this will be automated to it. And then since we have Gary active during a bad tide only, once it's finished, we can come in and tie that to all sorts of other fun things, like, for example, water pumps, although I think this setup right now is perfectly fine as it is. Yeah, see, this has very, very slowly breached over here. But note, this is still fine. This area down here, yeah, it's basically full. Not technically, but it basically is. And that is why I want this to continue to be exploded, but I can't get in there until we have a drought. Or I install throttling valves, which we already discussed. So that's working out there. This needs to be connected to here. This, I should just go ahead and pre-connect all of these. Yeah, see, that was 43 meters. That's going to help us out quite a bit. Those trees have been marked for cutting. I've got I've got the ability to get most of these. These are not on the same level. Before you ask me why he's not cutting those, you can't get to them. And we do have these up here. Gonna need to put in... maybe I don't want to do that one right there. We'll go on the other side. Probably going to be easier. Just cut down all of these on this top section here. Just make that a tiny bit easier for us. This is going to have a floodgate here. Or, I guess, a fill valve or whatever. But I don't think we need to worry about that. I think we just floodgate it. And it's only a single source. What? 2 strength? I didn't check it, but that's probably what it is. All we have to do is make a channel where this never overflows, which I've got... Well, no dynamite right now, because of this, obviously. But we're doing all right. We're doing okay. I've definitely done worse. So let's get this bad tide out of here. Just have to wait. This is waiting on planks. I got plenty of them. That's waiting on some more stuff. I guess we're doing okay. We have 11 kits. We have 66 beavers totally. Okay, that's fine. Slow and steady wins the race. Unless it's a sprint, in which case you're absolutely going to lose. Eventually we do need to work on getting these guys mitigated as well, but that's not going to be as quick or easy of a process. Did they do anything on this yet? No, they did not. It is in range. Maybe it's just not. Everything else is a higher priority. That's because I placed it first. Of course it is. Yeah, they haven't done anything on that. Well, this one's cutting the trees at least. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for the dynamite. But I think this will be pretty easy. Pretty simple for us to just blast something out. Or I could just spin a ton of logs building a levee out to the end, but I don't think we need to overcomplicate it. I do want to research the single floodgate. This also is going to be automated. Probably going to need to be with a contamination barrier. Leave a space here. Yeah. Well, it's it's already clean again, so that's fine. Cycle 10. Uh-oh. You know what just showed up? We got 11 days, folks. We got 11 days. Okay. This is where we have to hit pause, because a couple episodes ago I asked you guys if you wanted to see the alternate history version of if we hadn't fixed the dam, and by fixed I mean put a hole in it. So what I'm going to do at this exact moment in time, because we just got notified those unstable cores were going to go off, I'm going to create a save. And we're going to keep playing normally. But I'm going to go back to that save whenever the cores go off, I don't know if it's going to be this episode or not, depending on how long these days take. But whatever episode the cores go off in, I will also do... I'll go into the save that I'm about to create, go in dev mode, repair the dam so that it collects all this bad water, and then probably also patch this up. And then we get to see what the bad water apocalypse would actually do. Obviously, we're not going to, play past that point in that branch of the save. But that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a moment right now, create a branch save that, and then come back. You won't see anything, but I'll have it on my computer. All right, so I've made the save. We'll come back to that whenever that time comes. Let's get back to this, because I do still want to get this accomplished before whatever the next bad tide is. Not that, this going off is really going to do much. And honestly, knowing that this is going to explode, let's check radius on this again. Okay, that's going to get obliterated. This entire middle section's going to go away, so we actually don't need to do this, because it's going to be disappeared. Alright, well that solves that problem. The stairs might still be here, but all of this is going to be gone. I don't think, based on the architecture of how the land is... Architecture of how the land is? That's not architecture, that's nature. Unless it's actually old human architecture. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think all these ruins are going to be disappeared, and I really don't think it's worth worrying about that anyway. But we are going to want to make sure the beavers are not in this area when this goes off. Even though the radius of these things is only, what, 4? There is always a possibility that we could have... Oh, you know what? I don't know that this is possible in normal mode. It probably isn't. But in 11 days, if this were hard mode, 11 days could have been squarely toward the end of a bad tide, or the middle of a bad tide. And if this was full and it was a bad tide, oh boy, that would be bad. So maybe it's actually okay. Well, as okay as it can be when you have these two giant time bombs. I think everything's going to be all right. So I know, kind of anticlimactic, but we can probably somewhat safely ignore this. All right, so this is still flushing, and it will continue to do so. You'll see the fluttering thing that we kind of talked about, or you guys mentioned in the comments, and I discussed briefly at the beginning of this, that we'll attempt to fix with another set of relays and contamination sensors. But for right now, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. For now, I'm just going to, lower this so it doesn't have a temptation to keep closing. But we are going to have to just wait for this to slowly... Yeah, see, like right there. This would be spewing some of this into the clean section if I hadn't taken care of overriding that. We'll be alright. Just need the rest of this. Yeah, because this is just such a long process getting all this taken care of. We'll be alright. We've still got some water in here. I only want clean coming in, obviously. So that's connected there. That's all fine. Did I ever finish Gary? No. They did not start Gary. Well... At least they have this. Gary, okay, Gary's next. So we do want to have all of that. Okay, that is closed because of Gary. This shouldn't be automatically closed. Or do I need this to be, I need this to be not Gary. This needs to be on a not, okay. Alright, I need to put a relay here. Can they reach this? Alright, so I need that to be not Gary, and then I need that to be to this relay. Which means that will have that open when Gary is turned off. I think. Yes. Okay. Good. How are we looking here? Still flowing mostly clean. Is the source down here? Or is it, no, that's the Oxbow Lake or whatever you want to call that. I feel comfortable enough. I think. Maybe. Okay, this is still going to filter itself. I guess we can leave that alone. But this is exactly why we really want to come in here and take care of this. Especially these faraway ones as soon as we can. It just takes so much away from what we're trying to do. Alright, I'm going to take this levee away. We need to put in a floodgate. Of course it puts it, I don't care, 9 logs. I'm not going to waste my time sitting here. Yeah, so this has to be automated. But Gary, we don't want that Gary on a delay, so why don't we do this? Put in, I only have 8 of these. Do I really want to spin that on a second Gary? Probably yes. Oh, I've got so many extra beavers. Why do I have anything paused? I don't need any of this paused. Well, at least not all of it paused. Yeah, you know, it's not worth trying to, you know, make this less complicated and in the process complicate it more. We're going to name this one Gary 2. Gary 2 is going to activate early. Let's say 18 hours. Seems safe. We're going to automate this to Gary 2. When it's on, it goes all the way up. When it's off, it goes there. This is going to be automated to Gary 2 as well. And then that saves us a little bit of nonsense. But they do have to actually finish Gary 2. And then, of course, Gary 2 can be tied to this and this and this and this and this. It's just that this Gary that controls the gate... Actually, you know what? We can use names to help us out. How about Gary the Gatekeeper? There you go. Gatekeeper doesn't always have to be a bad thing. He's the keeper of the gate. And nothing else. Well, that Gary, at least. Oh, this needs to be cut down. Oh, they just haven't gotten to it yet. Alright. I've got singles, I've got doubles. Did I mark that one? I did. So, the idea is here. This is 1. This one could become 2. This one would become 2. This one would become 1. This one would become 2. This one would become 2. This would also become 2. And then this one would become 1. All the way out. I don't think we're going to have any further problems than that. I need to have a contamination sensor. Or do I want it to be... Okay, I need it to be a contamination sensor and a weather station set to an ore gate. Because I want this to shut immediately when the bad tide starts, but I don't want it to open until the contamination is flushed away. If that makes sense. So if the measurement is above the threshold, which I will set at, say, 2% is probably fine, then I want this to close and this one to open, but I haven't built that yet. So we'll have to have a relay, which I can put here, set to ore. This here, which we'll call this, instead of contamination sensor 4. Oh, I was going to do naming conventions. I talked about that. Well, how about contamination sensor, comma. That doesn't work. Let's see. That doesn't... I need more characters, Mechanistry. Come on. We'll call this clockwise from the from this area. We'll call this source 1 because it's actually a source. That'll help us keep things done there. I don't know. Naming conventions are good, but you have to be able to actually take the time to do it. And when I record these videos, I can't stop and do that. So I know it's gonna frustrate you guys to absolutely no end, but that's just the way it goes. I do have to, at times, prioritize the watchability of content versus doing things exactly perfectly every time. Is what it is. I'm going to want this to just be directly behind it, probably. Yeah. Okay for kaboom on these. that's going to be for the best. That'll come down here. Go down 1, go down 2. Did I just step on my mouse cable? How did that get under there? How did I step on something while sitting down is the better question. Alright, so Gary 2's doing Gary 2 things. That's set fine. We got 8 days until these things... Oh, you can see it through the ground. That's diabolical. Can you imagine how bright of a light you would have for it to be able to permeate solid earth? If that's even possible. I'm sure if it were bright enough it would be, but at that point you'd also have a whole lot of heat that would just melt the ground. I don't know, it's probably some sort of nuclear physics question that I'm not going to be able to properly say anyway. Alright, at this point this absolutely has to be. That's already open. I'm going to turn that to... just like that, that'll back up. But again, we do need to put another contamination sensor here, and we do need to have another, what do you call it? So easiest way to do this is probably going to be, say, here. This one, if the measurement is, because this is going to turn, the on state is to lower this. Put this down to 2%, and then, because each relay can only have 2 things connected to it, which means this is going to have to be connected to... Well, this gate needs to be connected here to here, to here and here. This gate could be connected here and here. I think as somebody took the time to type out a post, and I really wish I could remember exactly what it is they said. I did take note of, like, hey, fix this, but... let's say... Or, maybe it needs to be an AND gate. Now, if this is on, then this is on. And if this is on, then this needs to be on. So I guess I'll just do... I'm pretty sure that's what I needed to do. I hope that's going to work right. We'll see. They obviously have to be able to build it, which, you know, is going to require me to put the stairs back in. But I don't think that's going to be a huge obstacle to our progress there. How are we looking over here? Okay, yeah, cut that tree down, and then we can actually do the rest of this. I can't blow this up yet, but that is getting there. Now this is going to end up kind of flooding here as soon as I blast this out. But I think that's going to be the best way to do it, honestly. I do want that to go down. I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine. So we'll just let him do this. The way the time is looking on the recording, I don't think the core is going to go off today. Which, honestly, in terms of content purposes, is probably preferable anyway. I know you guys want to see it. But even on triple speed, 1 day is, what, 90 seconds, and we're already almost at 50 minutes, and I don't want to be at triple speed this whole time. We'll see what we get to. And I don't think they're going to get to that super fast. Do I want to put contamination irrigation barriers down here? I don't think I need to. These trees are already dead, anyhow. But it might not be a bad idea, honestly. Maybe I should have moved these somewhere else. Well, it is what it is. Now I have all these extra beavers. We really need to take advantage of that, and I need to stay on top of, you know, actually... Oh, I was going to fix this, and I still haven't done that. I think that's probably just due to this rubber banding catching up. I guess I can turn this on. Probably I need to put gravity batteries. There's such a long list of things I really should do. Now, I know this is not supposed to be flooded like this, and it will not be forever. It just has to catch up. This'll be fine in just a little bit. Yeah, this needs to be addressed, because this is not great. You know, having the reserve tank here is good, but I think easiest way to solve this problem is going to be, how deep is this? Okay, 2 or 3. Easiest way to solve this is just to put that in there. We probably don't need to have this be floodgates, like the entire height, but why not? Why not? I'm going to set that at 1.65, should be about exactly the same. And then this could be synchronized, but the floodgates will allow me to mostly stop some of this. Or I can at least adjust it properly. Take this out of triple speed. I just said I didn't want to have things on triple speed. Alright, so that's all ready to go. I do need to be able to get up here. I should have put the stairs on this side, but you know how it goes. Alright, we're going to cave for kaboom this right here. It is going to cause water to come back out this way. But it's clean water, which is okay. So now we have this relay. When this contamination is on, or when this is contaminated, the relay turns on, and it will stay on whether this is contaminated or the weather station that is not on a delay is... wait, no, that's not it. What was I thinking with this? I already forgot. Okay. Because I definitely want that. No, it was the weather station, but it wasn't the one under the delay. It was Gary the Gatekeeper. That's what it was. So if that is on, which I'm pretty sure, now I have to double check again. Yeah, that's just straight up bad tide. So if it is a bad tide or there is contamination up to a certain percent, this will be what it is. So now I have to automate this to the relay. The on state is all the way up. The off state is all the way down. This is automated to the relay. The off state is all the way up. The on state is all the way down. I think that's what it needs. We'll get that set up, and then we're going to have to wind this down, not just from a perspective of time availability, but this is ready to get exploded. K for kaboom. This is ready to get exploded. K for kaboom. I can't do this one yet, but once this is one wide channel, this shouldn't overflow. It just looks weird right now. So we're going to let that be what it's going to be. And then hopefully that takes care of it. I am going to have to put a thing across here. And then obviously we need to get to this. That's, you know, one step at a time, folks. One step at a time. This guy can be moved to the other side here. Let's make this a priority. Get this to go all the way across. I am going to need to be up here, which, you know, I do still have access to. That's fine. But I can't get much further than that. And then I can't get much further than this. Okay. So that's in. Nobody get exploded, please. So let's check this. I'm gonna flip this so this activates. Okay, so a little tiny bit of flooding at the very beginning. Otherwise, that works very nicely. Put it back. And there you go. It is a simple setup, but it does seem to work. So I feel pretty good about that. Now, let's put a lumberjack flag. It's going to have to be up here so I can actually get to the rest of these. Because I want this, especially around here. This needs to go. That needs to go. There's no other trees that need to be removed except for me being able to actually get in there. Which means I get to specify a line of attack here. So we'll go with that. Okay, that's a baby tree. We can just, you know, get rid of that. And I'm sure they're going to take their sweet time to do that. To get this in here, I'm going to have to also... It's a straight line path here. Okay, so that can go there. This can go here. I think that's going to be the fastest route. How did I have that set? No, not that one. Okay. And then once this gets all the way through to here, this is what's going to get blasted. And then I need to be able to get down to this side, but once those trees are cut, that won't be an issue. Yeah, we'll just put stairs there, stairs there. We can do all of this. So we've got one there. We've got maybe... No, 2 here should be fine. Although, given how this is set, I probably should make this 3. Yeah, so it can go down enough to be on the same level as the bottom at this exact spot. And then here, it can be a 1. This is going to have to be a 2, and I hope that's going to be enough for me to figure this out later. I think that should be okay. Alright, so we already know this works. We tested it. We have this wonderful zipline station in place that's going to help us tremendously doing all of these things. We only have 4 days until the unstable cores are going to go off, and I really wish I would have been able to take care of the rest of this. However, we're only like a block and a half deep here, which honestly isn't going to be any worse than a normal bad tide for this stuff coming through. They've got this done. So I guess now would be a good time to kind of test this by artificially manipulating the sensors. Okay, that didn't do anything. That did. Okay. Yep, so that opens that, even though this is... That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. I think that should be okay. This is the other one that's attached to that, so let's just check that. I didn't think this was not gonna... Okay. Oh, it's set to 0%. Well, that's not gonna do anything. Who did that? It was me. There we go. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I want the measurement... If the measurement is greater than 0, or greater than 1, then I want this to activate, which will raise this and lower this. And this does basically the same thing, except it's closer to this gate. Good, 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 good. We're making progress. We still don't have enough trees cut. But we have enough over here, I think, to keep this more or less active. I've got all these extra beavers. Let's take advantage of that and put in a bunch of lumberjack flags. And, you know, just cut down a bunch of these trees. I obviously want this path cut down first, just in case we have a chance of getting over here before there's a bad tide. Let me just check my notes here. I know I didn't get a chance to get to everything yet. We did reconnect the bad water pump. That was a pretty bad thing I missed. I guess this only other thing, we have this tunnel here that could have bad water go through it, but as it stands now, this is higher than all of the bad water, so I don't think it's an issue. I think if we had not drained the dam, that would be a problem. But we did. So, I'm not worried about it. I did want to acknowledge that, though. We obviously don't need to put valves in the dam that is about to not exist anymore. We did put a gate to get down here. Probably should have some more of those. But that's good for now. We did... well, we didn't put the pumps on a weather sensor, but that's because I think we can just continuously keep pumping in it and not be a problem. These gates are all in, which means to do what we want to do, I can take those dams out, and then these could be maybe a little bit more easily regulated. Probably. I know at the 0.65, 1.65 setting, it's basically exactly what we had before. But I don't think I'm bothered by that. I am going to take this out. We don't really need to get across here to this water, although it's nice to have. I might still mess with this a little bit. We'll see. We still don't have paper. That is something we need to do. I know our power generation's not quite up to snuff. Which means we'll probably need some more wind turbines. I was going to do that. I don't think it's really mission critical at this exact moment. We do need some more storage for treated planks. I do know that. Just long term is a good idea to have that. So I'm going to put some more up here. Again, I know it's not a great spot, but it is what it is. And maybe next episode we get into the bakery where we can make some maple pastries. And then we can also use the maple syrup to make fuel. Or, I'm sorry, catalyst. I play much more with the iron teeth, so I forget what stuff's called. Alright, so that was a lie, that this would actually prevent that from being a problem. Let's take this down to 1.6, which in theory should help stop a lot of this, since this is set to the target height of... Oh, actually, that's the same. Yeah, this is... It is what it is. But there's got to be a better way to do this. So instead of maybe a fill valve, maybe a throttling valve and a fill valve combination would have done a better job here, because I do have to have the extra spill over. And in theory, this is less coming through here than this can eject. I don't know. It's starting to get to the point where it's complicated. But, you know, I'm feeling pretty good about this, all things considered. The dam explosion, which will now be next episode, really isn't something I think we need to be super worried about. So I'm glad we're going to be doing the what-if, worst-case scenario, like, you know, in Mythbusters where they do the... oh, man, the one that really sticks out to me was the... if you jump on the bed and you hit your head on the ceiling fan, will it, you know, decapitate you? So they did the... there's a 3-day warning. So that episode aired, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, maybe. But they did the thing, it didn't decapitate you. Might, you know, hurt you, break your bones. So what did they do at the end? They said, okay, well, we wanted to duplicate the result from the myth, so they put a lawnmower on the ceiling, and obviously you can guess what happened with that. So I guess in some way that's similar to what we're going to be doing here, but we'll see. That'll be a next episode. I appreciate you guys sticking with this series, all the helpful advice, ideas, so on and so forth. And, of course, the boosters support the channel, so we don't have to have sponsors, and I don't have to, you know, chase the algorithm and do clickbait or any of that garbage. I just want to have fun playing with beavers on the internet, and that's what we get to do. So I'm always going to be thankful for those folks, and I'm thankful for you, too, even if you're not on that list. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.